Greetings, gamers, crackheads, and fellow cave dwellers. Welcome to the Ghastgrove history. And my name is Michael, and I'm here to tell you about the extinction of women in 1927. The 1920s were an interesting time for America. Prohibition was creating more alcoholics than ever, 3G was all the rage, and there was a sudden and steep decline in the population of women in the world. Now, you might be thinking, I didn't know that rotary phones had such a connection, and I thought the same thing when I first learned this fact. It's quite interesting, really. But now, to the topic at hand, the sudden fall of women in 1927. Let's start with where it all began, Rhode Island in the United States. That's right, this place actually had something somewhat remarkable happen, and it still went 100% unnoticed by everyone but from Rhode Islanders. Also, the dude who played Rowley in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie was born in Rhode Island in August of 1925. But I digress. Local authorities noted that women were going missing constantly in the state. 2 to 3 appear in the town claiming to be said women, while Rhode Island is the first place that had documented incidences of this happening. The first of this happening that caught the world's attention was in New Zealand. Here, women were going missing by the thousands each week. Soon this started happening everywhere around the world, and everyone was thinking that this was an attack from the British, because the British people would show up at the house of a missing woman to take their place. This, strangely enough, turned out to be not the case. Why were all these women disappearing? Why were these British people showing up and pretending to be the missing women? Well, it turns out that there is a story and a scientific explanation for this. Around the world, it was a tradition to hug telephone poles once a day for good luck. This was a huge trend, especially among women. Scientists considered this safe and normal because 2G posed absolutely no threat whatsoever. And even they often partook of this activity of hugging telephone poles. This would lead to the consequence of 1925, when 3G was rolled out worldwide in late July. As we all know, scientists are all incels, so they don't let women into their laboratories even as test subjects. So the effects of 3G on anything that wasn't a straight white man went completely unnoticed. First place to get 3G? That's correct, Delaware. Next was Rhode Island, which is probably somewhere near Delaware, who knows. And after about 2 months, our precious incels, scientists, started to realize that their childhood crushes were turning into ungodly creatures from hell. And that made them sad. So in 1926, they decided to drop their crusty anime plush and their musty Reddit caves and search for the reason behind the loss of the girl that they creepily stared at for 3 years in middle school. Finding the cause of the disappearing woman alone took an entire year. They, as usual, refused to admit that they ever did anything wrong. Okay, it's just ridiculous. And the incels are not perfect human beings. After a whole year, scientists were led back to 3G, the technology which they had created. Thankfully, they fixed the issue with 3G, but not before all women on Earth were mutated into something that nobody saw coming. Girls. Anyway, this is how women went extinct in 1927. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.
This episode of the Gascast was sponsored by The Boiling Chamber. Has your son ever misbehaved? Does your husband leave the toilet seat up? Well, look no further than the solution of The Boiling Chamber. For $1,000 per use, you can make all of your problems melt away with just some money and a couple cups of water. Use code GAST for 10% off your next purchase. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.